Hey guys, in this video I'll be showing you how to clean up your photos of your artwork. So as you can see in this photo, the before is just really messy. I was kind of lazy because I've been more reliant just on my editing. There's some pencil shaving marks and some paint splots, and the lighting's not that great. I have a ring light, but I just didn't use it for this one. It was kind of like midday. Didn't even use natural light, really. So, yeah, you can see this photo's dark. The colors are really pale. It just looks kind of gross. And in this picture, I brightened things up, got rid of all the distractions, all of the splots, the dirtiness, even the pencil, a lot of the pencil shaving marks as well. And it just looks a lot more appealing to look at and a little bit more professional. So I'll show you how to do this. I don't currently have Photoshop. I'm saving up for a laptop, so using these apps on my iPad, but you could also do this on your iPhone or just a smartphone, doesn't have to be an iPhone. Doing this is a lot cheaper for me right now. Even if you do have Photoshop, this is a nice method to know how to do when you're on the go. If you're somewhere where you can't pull out your laptop and you just want to make really quick edits, these are some nice skill sets and apps to know of. So these are the 3 apps that I use. Colorstory is free, and they have really good filters that I like to use to kind of just give it this nice foundation. Saves me a lot of work, and you could use the same filters for later. And then retouch, which is what I use to get rid of any objects that are distracting and kind of just erase things that do not look like they belong in the picture. And then I use Snapseed, which has some really nice features to just kind of tune up the fine details and add any last accents that I would like to add. So colorstory and Snapseed are free, but retouch I believe costs $1.99. I could be wrong, but I think it's $1.99. Okay, so here we are in colorstory. And what I'm going to be doing is going to filters, but you could see they also have some effects. The plus sign means you would have to purchase to be able to use that certain feature. I do not have a membership of this program. You don't have to. You could get all the basic things that you really need to get done by just using the free feature, so don't worry about having to buy all this stuff. I'm going to be showing you the things that you could do for free that really is all that you need. So the filter that I like to use is in basics, and the one that I really like to use as a filter is the one called Pop, and you could have a scale here at the bottom to adjust how much you would like. So already this has just improved the photo so much. So I'm going to keep it there at the top and just keep this feature. So I'll click the checkbox and that's it. And then I could go back here. They do have some adjustments that are really nice, pretty straight to the point. You could adjust the clarity and all that, but I'm going to save all that for the other app that I'm going to show you guys. Also, when I do add grain, I use the grain on this app. They also have this feature called Touch, where you could lighten and darken certain spots, and you could increase the size of the brush, which is really nice. So you could see here the spot that I'm touching here in the left corner of the photo is like really lightening up. And I use this feature quite a bit for my my pictures of my artwork, but the options here are kind of limited. You see the plus signs, you can't really use the sharpen, the smooth, the saturate, unless you're going to purchase it. So I don't really use the brushes on here, but I do use it on the other app. So I have the filter that I really like to use, and while I'm here I just kind of crop it to get rid of any excess space that I think will take away from the picture. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is save the picture. I'm going to go to this little arrow in the corner save it, save to my camera roll, and now I'm going to go to the next app. So I'm going to reopen this picture. There's quick repair if you want to be really quick about getting rid of objects. I usually like to use object removal just so I could get more in one go though. So you just select what you don't want in the picture here and then click go, and then it's gone. So obviously you can be doing this on Photoshop, but like I said, if you have limited resources at the moment and you can't buy Photoshop, I think this is a really great substitute. Or if you just want to do quick edits, I just select all the things that I don't want in the picture, click go, and it gets rid of it. And I do this on the picture. You can see these pencil lines here. Just get rid of that. And, you know, sometimes it has its flaws, so you could, you know, make things actually look worse. So for example, this is just the repeated pattern, but you could do it multiple times. So the nice thing about this program is you could really zoom in quite a bit and be more specific about what you want to get rid of. And if you mess up, it's not that big of a deal because there's a back button here. So I'm not going to get all of the little details like the original, but of course the best thing to do, I think, to make a picture look nice is before you take the photo, you just clean up your table, because that way you're not going to get these weird edit smears. But that's the nice thing about trying to really brighten up a picture and making it look more white, is that even if you do have smudge lines, it blends in really well. But if this was like a patterned thing or a different color, it may not look as convincing. But you could do some large spots here. Could go in on the tube of paint, just get rid of all of that. As you can see here, I'm just getting rid of a lot of this stuff that's really distracting. I went to this arrow inbox in the upper right corner. I click save as copy, and then I make sure I click done. Now it's to my camera roll. And now I'm going to go to Snapseed. Here's my photo. They do have filters here if you want to look through them, but you can see when you go to tools, they have all of these options. Spend a good amount of time here experimenting with all that they have. They have a lot of great stuff. But what I like to do is first go to Tune Image, Adjust, go to the brightness, bring it up a bit. Contrast, I bring that up a smudge to kind of just make everything pop a bit more. Saturation, a little bit. I don't want to make it too blinding. Ambiance kind of balances things out a bit more, brings up the saturation, and so I'm just gonna bring that up a little bit. Highlights, I'm gonna bring up a little bit too. Shadows, I'm gonna bring up a little bit, and I usually, you know, it's different for each picture, so it's not like things are set in stone. It really depends what your art piece is, what colors you're using, brush strokes, all of that. So I'm gonna bring that up a little bit. Warmth a tad. And that's it for the adjusts. And then I'm gonna go to details and just sharpen up the image a bit and the structure, just so the picture comes out a little bit more clear. Now what I'm gonna do is go to the brush option, which is all the way to the right on the first row of options here, right before healing. And this is nice because it gives you some of the options that the other app didn't. So I got dodge and burn, exposure, temperature, and saturation. I like to use the dodge and burn and the saturation the most, So you could see here at the bottom, you could increase and decrease the dodge and burn. So right now it's at +10. And I'm just gonna lighten up this whole picture, and I could be more selective about it. See this like yellow splotch? I could just add as much white as I want, and then I could whiten up the brush more and decrease the shadows that the tube of paint and the brush are casting, and whiten up around the image. And in a way, this kind of gets rid of a lot of the flaws on just the paper and the table, like the pencil shavings and the smudges. So I'm being really quick with this, but you'd want to make sure it's as even as possible, the whiteness, so it doesn't look kind of strange and edited. So I'm just going around the edges and making sure it's white and as even as possible. Trying to get rid of those shadows around the paper to kind of just give it this more super clean feel, so it really draws your attention more to the pot, the watering can and flowers. Alright, and then if you want to make sure if this is more even, I like to just kind of look at it from a little bit of a distance, bring my phone or my iPad away from my face, and you could kind of see where the dark spots are coming in. And once again, you could zoom in here and get all these fine details of where you want it to look less scratchy. I don't know what kind of word I'm looking for. But if I wanted to, I could go in and all these crevices on the painting and just really dial back anything that I think is an error or I don't want to be showing. I don't mind things looking a little out of line though, because it gives it more of a personal touch and shows that this was hand painted. But yeah, this is basically it. This is what I do. And then I go into, I click the checkbox here, go back into brush. I also then go to saturation. I decrease it because it's really strong. I only need +5%. And then I could increase the saturation of just specific things that I want to pop out more. There's really nothing in this picture that needs more saturation, but I'll do this if I'm surrounding my little painting with flowers or shells or something. I'll try to make that pop a bit too. If there's a product that's being featured, you could increase the saturation of that. So I'm going to come in and increase the color of this tube of paint so it's like really noticeable and that you see it right away when you look at the picture. So you can see it's a little bit brighter. I could go in to this paintbrush and I'm increasing the saturation of that. And now I'm going to go into maybe certain parts of this painting. I'm going to make these lilacs pop a bit more. And certain parts of the pot. Okay, so this isn't perfect, but you get the point. So basically what I do is I use these 3 apps to just first put a filter on it that does a lot of the work for me, and then I go in and I erase the things that are distracting or dirty and unprofessional. And then the third app, what I do is just touch everything up, make it more bright, go into the crevices, and get rid of anything else that could be not that great, and just brighten it up more, add more saturation. So with these 3 steps, you could really make any picture look a lot better, brighter, and cleaner. And just cleaning up an image like this really does a lot in the long haul. Say, for example, I wanted to sell this little postcard on Etsy. This is going to grab a lot more attention than just a poorly lit, pencil shaven written picture. And of course, the same thing works if I wanted to prop this picture up against the wall and put flowers next to it and kind of make it more of like a product. It doesn't have to be just a white background or a white table that you're taking the picture on. This works for everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you learned something from it. If you would like any more videos like this, just let me know in the comments. Alright, thank you for watching and happy photo editing.